Hey guys, this is Maria. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to share if screen time is really that bad for your children, and you will be able to walk away with some realistic ideas on how you can implement no screen time in your everyday life. I am a mom of two kids. I have a toddler almost 2 and a preschooler who is 4 years old. We do no screen time through the week with our children except one movie night on Fridays. And I also do a lot of Montessori at home. A lot of the studies and all of the ideas that I'm sharing with you also can be found on a lot of public websites like AAP, which is American Academy of Pediatrics, and also Baby Center. So you can check them out in the description if you want to dig in a little more. So how much is too much of screen time, and is it good to completely eliminate screen time of your children's lives? So let's discuss it all. According to the studies, the children up until 18 months of age, and based on the recommendations from AAP, should not be watching any TV shows, shouldn't be having any access to any devices whatsoever. Kids learn through their senses, the 5 senses. That's why they always touch, smell, put it in their mouth, listen. So that's how they develop their surroundings. The studies have shown that kids have not shown any learning from apps at that stage of life. So if you're trying to give your child developmental apps, even if you're doing that for, potential development, it doesn't work. We are, as biological creatures, wired to learn from the caregivers. So the best thing you can do for your child is just be there with them, teach them, play with them. And at the end of this video, I will tell you some really great strategies that helped me. From the age of 18 up until 24 months, there is no really recommended time. If you can't do no screen time at all, it's the best thing you can do. But if you do some screen time, make sure you're participating with your child. If it is a developmental app, or if it is a show where they're learning something, make sure you're right there by them, because what the kids at that stage are learning from is still you as a caregiver, so you reiterating the information that they just have received. And after the 2 years of age, the recommended screen time is only 1 hour a day for kids 24 months and older. And that 1 hour a day is also recommended high quality programming. Now, what does it mean if your child gets too much screen time, and what is the effects on their body? Well, one of the first things that typically the kids that have more difficult temperaments or sleeping issues, or they are in any way are difficult for the adults, tend to spend more time on the screens. And unfortunately, that actually only aggravates the situation, because it is really important for toddlers to be able to adjust to challenges like being bored in a grocery store. You can always involve them, and again, I'll touch upon it at the end of this video. Another very important part that gets actually affected by overusage of the media is the sleep. Exposure to the blue light of the screens actually decreases melatonin production in your child's brain. And as you know, melatonin is a hormone that makes it easier for you to go to sleep and stay asleep. So having screen time right before bed or at the nighttime actually promotes more restless sleep for your child, and that makes a more difficult child in the morning. Another thing that happens in your child's body is the release of dopamine. When you are easily swiping the page and then you just end up on the screen, dopamine is the hormone again that releases in our brain and activates our pleasure center, and it tells us, "Ooh, I love it, I want to do it more." And actually studies have shown that this easy dopamine release in children that are using too much screen time or too much media at a very young age is very similar to the addiction problems with alcohol and drugs. It is a much lighter scale, but it's the same type of addiction. Another thing that gets affected if your child is overusing the media is their prefrontal cortex. It develops in the first 3 years of life. It's the ability to actually emotionally handle the situations, and also empathy. So as an adult, that's what it all comes from. But it is developed by the 5 senses, and it makes total sense. If your child is not using their grasp, pinch, smell, and touch, well, it's not going to be developing in the same level as the children they're supposed to be doing it. And it's also thinning out quicker in the children with overuse of media. Now, you might ask, well, we are growing up in a digital age, and what if I'm not exposing my child to technology? Are they going to be behind? And based on AAP and baby center studies, you will not. The longer you actually don't expose your child to technology, the better they are off. Technology is really easy and intuitive to use, so they will learn how to swipe, pop, and do all those things pretty easily. Now, at the age of 3 is when your child is actually able to learn from apps. So 3 to 5 when they're preschoolers, but it needs to be part of the curriculum that you build together with your child based on what you're learning, and you need to rate it. So it has to be always high quality programming. Now, we all live in real life, we have children with tantrums. We also, need to get stuff done if we're stay-at-home moms and we're the only person in the household. So what do you do? So what can you do to help your child to have a better quality of life is very easy. Number 1 on my list is involve your children. And actually, I will tell you that when I was a first-time mom and my daughter was about 1, I've actually gotten iPad cases, iPad holders for the car, and all those devices, because it's almost like an expectation in our society that if you have a toddler that is getting into everything, you have to distract them. You don't. So you can just involve them, and that's why I came across the Montessori approach. If you are interested, check out my Montessori playlist. It's going to be linked here and also below at the bottom, and also my activities for kids list. It's also going to be linked. So you just involve your kids. After the age of 12 months, the kids go into the sensitive period where they mimic everything that you do, and they want to help and participate in your everyday life. So I typically, if it's a breakfast time, I used to give Scarlett some spinach, and she would break down the spinach for me, break down the mushrooms. They can contribute on so many levels, and it actually builds up their confidence as well. My son loves making coffee with me. Anything that you do around the house, you can find little jobs for them that they can successfully accomplish. Number 2 is set up your environment in a way that the child can actually entertain themselves. Don't put away all the toys that they have to ask you to access them. Have them ready for them when they need them. Certain things you might want to put away. For example, if we are in the kitchen and I have one of my kids in a kitchen helper chair, I do a lot of sensory bins because they love those. Baby Justin right now is into the beans and farm animals. Scarlett used to love ice, water, and dinosaurs, and that would entertain her. So if your child does not want to get involved in what you're doing, you can always give them something that they can discover with their hands and learn while you're doing something. Well, number 3 for me is don't be afraid if your child gets bored. It's okay if they get bored. They will find their creative ways to entertain themselves. So if you're doing something, let your child freely explore the world. They will, trust me, they will figure it out. By the way, guys, if you love what you see, make sure to subscribe to my channel and click that notifications button. My channel is focused on the Montessori approach to parenting, also developmental activities for children, how to keep them busy, and also just some healthy lifestyle tips and ideas. Number 4, go outside. Spending the more time outdoors you can spend, the better. And typically outdoors, the children find all kinds of ways to entertain themselves. They can build the tree, like imagine the trees as their houses. They look for bugs, they collect leaves, sticks, acorns. They can throw the ball. Honestly, you don't even have to come up with anything. Just take your child to the park. You can run out to the zoo, to the museum. There's so many things that you can do just to get out of the house and get your child exploring the world. Number 5 on my list is join play groups or play clubs. You can do it as early as 6 months. There's so many different activities that will help your child develop physically and also have social skills. For older children, it can be extracurricular activities. I have a boy and a girl, so we do completely different things. Scarlett does ballet and she also does gymnastics, and there is so many great ways for them to grow and develop. I'm actually a big believer in learning through play with other children, and that's the reason why I don't homeschool her. That's why Scarlett is going to school for a few hours a day every morning. Great places to eliminate any media are bedrooms, car. When you go to the restaurant, You need to teach your child social behaviors, and sometimes it sucks and it's hard, but you know, a lot of the times parenting is hard. So if you are in the restaurant and your child is throwing a tantrum and you can't let them color or participate in conversation or eat, just pack up your food and leave. You will teach your child so much more by that. And think about it, is your child, meaningful relationship between you and your child are worth you leaving at that very moment from the restaurant, or giving them this phone constantly, promoting a completely different behavior? And it's never too late. Again, as I mentioned, I wasn't completely screen-free when I first started my journey of motherhood. I came to it and I've been, you know, dropping it little by little, and then I ended up in this place where I feel like it's a very happy place. I don't get asked for the phone, I don't get tantrums in the public places over things. We always handle and we talk through our relationship, so it's a beautiful place to be, and I hope you will be able to achieve it as well. There is so many ways to entertain your child on the go, in the car. So again, check out my playlist for more ideas, and I hope you enjoyed this video, and give me a thumbs up if you did. Comment below what was your favorite idea, what you're gonna try to change. I hope to see you soon.